Professional photographer Khám arrived in Vietnam 7 years ago. Here, he met writer Alex Shield and immediately struck up a friendship. Together, they explore the highways and byways of Vietnam, publishing articles and photo stories based on their experiences. In 2012, they created Vietnam in Focus, a photo tour company based on their experience and endless passion for travel and photography in Vietnam. The journeys offered by Vietnam in Focus bring visitors to some places that are unusual for tourists but very typical of Vietnam, such as Hanoi's railway tracks, Long Biên Market at sunrise, Tho Ha Handicraft Village, and Northwest mountainous communities. A number of photos and stories of participants during the tours have been featured by international media, helping promote new attractions of Vietnam in a vivid way for people around the world.
Hello and welcome to Sharing Vietnam. Vietnam is attracting more and more visitors with increasingly professional and diverse experiential tours. In our program today, we'll get to know a unique service known as photography tours provided by Vietnam in Focus. Our guest today is Khám, a veteran photographer and co-founder of Vietnam in Focus. Hello Khám, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
First of all, could you tell us the reason for you to arrive in Vietnam in the first place?
So I arrived around 2008. I've been in Paris. I was a photographer in Paris for a long time. And I just got a bit bored with Paris. I was getting into a routine and I wanted to change. I wanted to learn a new language as well. So a friend of mine in Paris said you should go to Hanoi or Vietnam, and yeah, I arrived here 2008. I wanted to change, and I got a change. I got an amazing. I came to an amazing country.
So, how did the idea of establishing Vietnam in Focus come about?
I came out here teaching English at the beginning, and I met Alex in Apollo. You know Apollo School. So we traveled a lot. We'd get weekends off, get long weekends, get on our motorbikes, get my camera. Alex get his pen and paper, and he'd be writing, and we just traveled around the north part of Vietnam, also the south, the whole Vietnam on bike trips, amazing bike trips up to Ha Giang and all around Lang Son as well. So we basically got into this movement of kind of like travel, take pictures, and then we were in, I think we were in maybe Ho Chi Minh once, and we said, God, it'd be great if we could do this full time, traveling and taking pictures. And we said, yeah, maybe we could start up a company, bring tourists around and stuff like that.
What are the challenges for you in developing Vietnam in Focus so far, and how you have managed to overcome them?
But I think the big challenge for me anyway is that Vietnam is developing in a way that they're expanding, they're going, trying to modernize. Well, they are modernizing a lot of the countryside, and there's a lot of the countryside is disappearing. But what can a country has to develop, so and it has to build electric dams and stuff like that, and that's the country has to develop in that way. So some of the scenery is disappearing, which is sad in a way. But the country is developing, so it has to get energy somewhere, and that's what I find a big challenge is for Vietnam in general. Is how to preserve scenery and at the same time produce produce enough energy for its people. And at the same time, trying to not destroy the scenery. It's a big challenge for Vietnam.
A photography workshop entitled Working Women of Hanoi was organized by Vietnam in Focus late February 2017. The event attracted Vietnamese as well as foreign participants. They came from different walks of life and belong to different age groups, but share the same passion for photography. For 3 hours, veteran photographer Khám shared fundamental information on how to use a digital camera and how to take good-looking portraits. As part of the workshop, participants went out to the surrounding streets, taking pictures and exploring the lives of Hanoi's female workers.
For me, it's been fun because I get very shy to approach people, and when you take a class, it sort of pushes you to do it because you're here to do a certain thing. So, and everyone that I talk to is very friendly. I try not to take too many photos, just trying to sneak them because I think that can be very rude and people can feel very put upon. I bought flowers from one woman and carrots from another. Which was nice. You add flowers to the house and it's pretty, you give everybody carrots and they're well fed. And I think it made, bargaining and taking interest in what they're doing also gave them a chance to feel more comfortable that I wasn't trying to sneak anything.
Well, I've been living in Hanoi since October, and I've seen so many great scenes as I've been out and about, and I really wanted to learn a little bit about how to take better pictures. So I heard about Vietnam in Focus, I think through a Facebook group, and I've been following the kinds of trips they do, and I saw this one was right in Hanoi, so I thought this is perfect. It's very colorful. A lot of people are hard at work on a Saturday morning, and there are just great scenes for a photographer. So people are very friendly, and I've gotten some really nice photos.
The workshop took place at Vietnam in Focus Cafe Gallery, located in the old quarter of Hanoi. Selected photos from the workshop will be displayed in an exhibition with the same theme to mark the International Women's Day on March the 8th.
Well, you have just organized a photography workshop on working women of Hanoi. So could you tell us about how the idea came about and your feelings during the event?
Yeah, I think it was Huey, one of our work assistants here, who's Vietnamese, and she came up with the idea of doing a women's work portrait, and luckily enough we had a Women's Day as well. As you know, there's a lot of women working in the streets, so yeah, there's it was very photogenic, it's very quite sometimes quite easy, sometimes it's difficult to get those pictures, but yeah, women working is amazing. There's so much to do around that, and it's not just in Hanoi, it's all over Vietnam. You see, if you go to Ha Giang, you'll see women working in the fields and women working on the roads. Like all the minority people build the roads out in the countryside, and mainly women breaking rocks and stuff like that. So it's quite amazing thing to see,
An important element of Vietnam in Focus is interacting with local people. So what is your advice for tourists to enjoy the best interactions with people here?
What we try to do, what I try and teach those people when you're taking portraits is, smile, look natural, even though you can't speak the language. It's kind of like you smile. If you could learn a few Vietnamese words, that would be, like thanks or hello. That, like for foreign people, to learn a couple of Vietnamese words is vital, especially for a photographer. You don't have to have many words, but hello, how are you, and thanks and goodbye, or what's your name even, would be learn something so that you don't arrive in front of your sitter without a word. It's very simple to learn a couple of words here in Vietnam. You can write them down and show them. So that's one idea. Another idea is kind of like if the person doesn't want the picture, walk away. It's no big deal, you know, like walk away. It's confrontational photography is not what we teach here. Is if somebody doesn't want the picture, you don't take the picture. There's lots of other pictures around, and you know, a good sitter is a person who accepts you to take a picture. So, you know, it might be a nod of the head and say, yeah, take my picture, no problem. So the thing is not to get into confrontation with the viewer. It's to keep it very simple, very relaxed.
While Vietnam in Focus has recently been accepted as a member of responsibletravel.com, a world's leading website for ethically aware travel companies. So could you tell us about how you protect the environment and practice fair trade?
For tips, yeah, just, you know, don't throw rubbish. Just because, I mean, in Vietnam, you can see, you know, sometimes it's not as clean as we would like it, but it's getting better. Yeah, just be careful with your plastics and stuff. Just stay local. That's what I would say. Stay local. Eat. The farmers are all kind of like, if you say we're a Red Zao farmer, they're kind of like very, very simple folk, and you can help the economy. You help the local economy. You eat their food, and they definitely benefit from that. You know. We try and stay away from 5-star, but you know, to convince people to stay in homestays is a bit difficult sometimes. But anytime I'm away, I like to stay in homestays. I like to stay local. I like to eat local. I like to buy my goods local. We encourage that. We encourage that with our local, with our people who come on our tours. Is to, like, you know, stay very local. You get better pictures. The other work we've done with Alex is we've done also a book on human trafficking, and we were kind of like we helped the Peace House shelter women there. So we try to donate money as you know, try to donate as much as we can to Vietnamese causes such as Peace House shelter, which is run by Vietnamese, the Women's Union and stuff like that. So.
And finally, could you tell us about your plan for the development of Vietnam in Focus in the coming time?
We enjoy photography, Alex and myself. You know, we enjoy listening to photographers. So our thing is like to develop the photography. We really love that idea. You know, we're not kind of like want to be a massive company. We're photography. We just, you know, if you come to Vietnam or Hanoi, you come to us because we are, you know, the photography in Vietnam. So that's what we want. We want to be known as the photographers in Vietnam.
Well, once again, Com, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing very exciting stories.
Thank you for having me, having Vietnam in Focus, and Wei and Alex would like to say thank you as well.
Well, that's all for our Sharing Vietnam today. Hopefully, more and more local as well as international tourists will have opportunities to join photography tours to explore unique perspectives and experiences of the country. Thank you so much for watching, and see you again next time.